What's up, guys? Bring you another episode of the Aspect Slant of a Changing Man. Uh, I don't know if y'all like that name, but let me know if you do. Leave a comment, leave whatever you want to do. Um, Again, my email address is mplsmikid@gmail.com. Yahoo, I mean not Yahoo. I'm sorry. Uh, Instagram, Facebook, all gold Washington. I did give my cell phone number. I usually give it at the end of it. If you guys want to text me and get in touch with me about anything, definitely. If you have any concerns, comments, you think I'm wrong, you think I'm right, I would love to know what you think about everything that's going on. Today is a serious topic. It's growth part two, but it's going to go in a different way. The number one thing to growth is, to me, I'm gonna start this off really quickly. Number one thing to grow is to know how humble you are in a situation. Some people will be like, man, I'm the humblest person in the world. I'm always humble. I don't understand what you're talking about and this and that. Well, let me break it down to you so that you understand clearly what I'm talking about when it comes to a person being prideful, full of pride. When it comes to a lot of older people, not old, but older people, they are stuck in their ways. So coming to them and asking them to do something that they're not used to is something that they feel like they can't do because they're so known to be doing something. And I don't think they understand why they feel that type of way. I was actually riding with a friend of mine in a car, and his fiance's father was telling me, when it comes to working out, I do this and I do that. You know, I I I want to work out at this time, but I'm old school, so I got my ways. I'm stuck in my ways, so I want to. I can't really see myself doing different, and that was about 2 days ago. So today I was sitting back and I was wondering why do people get stuck in their ways, and I was trying to analyze it, and thank God that He gave me the answers of why people get stuck in their ways. And here's how it is. When you ask a person what 2 plus 2 is, they automatically know it's 4. If you go up to a person and you say 2 plus 2 is 5, why would they disagree with you? It's because in their innocence, when they were innocent to that subject, they actually learned that 2 plus 2 is 4. So in that, it got stuck with the idea that 2 plus 2 is 4. And everybody says, of course, but I believe this wholeheartedly, that pride is the thing that sticks away to you. So once you're innocent to a subject, you get the answer to it. And the only way for that answer to actually stick to you is the pride of the answer. So if you find out that is a truth and you cold-heartedly believe it, you actually put a invisible cover over it called pride, and you make that your answer. And no one is able to change that answer until you humble yourself to not accept it as the answer anymore, to say that you're wrong and actually need to change it and accept to change it. So in you knowing that 2 plus 2 is 4, you actually have to see that 2 plus 2 is not 4, accept it, humble yourself enough to say that it's wrong, then accept an answer that you feel will be the new image that you want to put up there to be covered by your pride. That's what happens with a person when they give up the innocence of that answer. If you don't know, you'll be innocent to the answer. And once you accept it and you state that that is the truth, you put the cover of pride over it, and that becomes an answer that no one can remove until you humble yourself to say that it's the wrong answer. It's a lot of instances where a person can sit here and be proved wrong, and they see that it's wrong, but they don't accept that it's wrong. You actually have to humble yourself and and say that you're wrong, accept that you're wrong to the answer to be able to change it. And that's why it says in the Bible, it says this in the Bible, Jesus said this in the Bible, it says, come to the kingdom of heaven as a child, because you come with innocence, you come with not knowing, you come with humbleness, you don't know the answers, and you don't have pride enough to guess, to not guess, but to not accept the answer because of the pride that you have. Another good saying of why that happens, that people say today, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So it's basically saying, if you don't have pride in that subject, you will be humble enough to accept any answer. And you don't want to be able to do that. You want to be able to know where you're at in those answers and if they are the truth. But you want to be able to accept the truth. Like I was saying yesterday, a lot of people don't know that cheating is wrong because in their innocence, they were taught, that it's right for them to do that. So when they accepted it in their innocence, there wasn't anything to throw them off thinking that and accepting that as the answer. So they actually accepted it and put the pride cover over it and said that no matter what, this is the answer until I'm proven wrong, until somebody shows me wrong, until I accept it as wrong. But until then, it is my answer, and that's what it's going to be. My favorite show, anime, cartoon of all time is Dragon Ball Z. My favorite character on Dragon Ball Z, a lot of people know where I'm going with this, is Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans. He has so much pride in himself that he does not want to accept anything that does not have to do with him being the greatest or over anybody. And the thing that's funny about it is when it comes to this subject, I thank God that I've had something like this to use as an example. I would still love Vegeta no matter what. He's a great character, great development. He's just a great person. He accepts some things. He learned to accept some things and say, I need to change, but it was just some things he will never give up. Now, if you look at this subject, the reason I'm going to talk about this is because there's two things wrong with this guy. Just blank, point, period. The guy screams out, he's the Prince of all Saiyans. Now, the one thing that's wrong about this saying is his dad, the king, is dead. And once a king is dead, the prince becomes the king. But he has been so prideful in himself to not accept that he is now the king that he will keep calling himself the prince. There is no one in front of you holding you back from calling yourself the king. But you have so much pride in accepting that you are the king. You will not humble yourself into noticing that there's nobody holding you back from being the king now, because the king is gone. You're next in heir. So you should be king of all Saiyans. Then this is another thing that is wrong. He almost was the only Saiyan left. He was, there was Raditz, there was, I forgot the big guy's name. Forgive me. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. And for me to, I forget everybody's name at once in their life, especially when it's important at time and I'm trying to explain them. So he had a partner that he was with, big bald dude, and he actually killed him. Which Goku didn't really know he knew that he was a Saiyan, but it was the time he just found out that he was a Saiyan. So, in reality, it was only it was four of them that we know of. It was four of them. One died, so there was three. He kills another one, which makes it two. So for him to be Prince of all Saiyans, there's no all. There's only one other Saiyan, and he tried to kill him. So he was basically going to be the Prince of the Saiyan that he is, and it's just wrong. I think that it's wrong because he almost baited that he was almost the only Saiyan. So he wasn't trying to build his Saiyan race back up. He was basically trying to eliminate. He almost eliminated all of them. Well, there was three because Gohan is a half Saiyan, but I don't know how you count that. But you know what I'm saying? It's just a number. Like, I'm the prince of all Saiyans, but there's a low amount of Saiyans. Like, if you look, you can actually see the two Saiyans right there, and that's it. So I'm the prince of you, too. There's nobody else. Later they built, more Saiyans and half blood races and stuff, but he was still prince of like five people. That's it. And it's like, I understand, like, if he says I find somebody in the universe, that are saying I'm the prince of them too, but there was nobody else. He killed Frieza, killed everybody. There was nobody else, so he never really humbled himself to accept anything anything out of that saying, which I love it. I tell you, I love it, but he never really accepted anything out of that saying. He never really humbled himself to accept the king role. He never humbled himself to accept that he was like, there's not even a handful of sayings left, and I'm still screaming it's all over the place. Like, he's a very prideful person. I love that he's able to be my example because I love that show so much. I still watch it every Saturday until it cuts off in about a couple weeks. But yeah, back to the subject, man. You got to be able to accept that. I mean, for you to accept something, for you to not have so much pride, and for you to accept the answer, you have to actually humble yourself to accept that it's wrong. And when a person goes on a diet, they have to accept that they're not eating the right food and they were wrong for the idea of eating and not feeling so healthy. Which moves me on my next subject to this. Next subject on this subject. I know it sounded funny when I said that, but forgive me for that. Most of the time, it takes the degree of consequence that comes with humbling yourself, which makes it so that you want to change in most situations. And what I say by that is that a lot of people don't change their diet until the doctor is like, if you keep eating like this, you're going to die. A person may come to them and say, you're eating unhealthy, you're gaining weight. And they're like, oh, whatever. And they keep doing it. And then they're like, you're gaining weight. You can't run like you used to. Your back is hurting. You're eating unhealthy. And they're like, I don't care. The consequence that they're thinking of is not as harsh to scare them into humbling themselves. So it's not until for a lot of people, it's not until that final action or that final consequence is going to happen to where they're so scared it humbles them into making a change. They can't hold the pride anymore. When you a lot of people are when it comes to cheating,